All right, raise your hand like me. Good job. Here's your toy.
I don't want this.
Has that happened to you?
Fiona over here thought that maybe these blocks would serve as a reinforcer. Again, a reinforcer in ABA realm, right, is a stimulus that is predicted to increase the likelihood of behavior in the future. So I got a correct response. She was trying to reinforce me with the blocks. I threw the blocks because the blocks did not serve as a reinforcer. I did not like the blocks. They were not motivating to me in that moment. So a few things that really help to make sure that we have correct reinforcement for some of our clients is doing preferences assessments and doing reinforcement assessments. We want to know what the client really wants to work for before we go into that working session. So sometimes we do, we have physical objects as choices, we have them select one, then we know, okay, that we're gonna work for that if they're nonverbal. Sometimes we can just ask the clients, hey, what do you want to work for? What do you want to do after we're done with work? And they can tell us with their AAC device, or maybe we have a picture choice board. There's lots of different ways they can communicate that to us, but we want to make sure that we have something that serves as a reinforcer to increase that good work behavior that we're aiming to get when we're teaching them those skills.
So what advice for kids on the spectrum who have trouble with being told no or becoming frustrated easily?
Yeah, the biggest, simplest thing that I can say that you could implement tomorrow is instead of saying no, you can give other options. You can say unavailable. A lot of people have a really big reaction just to the word no. So sometimes just simply not using that specific word can make it easier for that learner. So sometimes we say, hey, that's not available, and then we give two options, but hey, the swing's available. So you want to think of other preferred things that they can do to give them choices. If you just simply say like, hey, can I have ice cream? And you're like, no, they're going to take that a lot differently than if you were like, they're like, hey, can I have ice cream? And you can say, oh, buddy, not right now, but you could have strawberries or some fruit snacks, right? So you're kind of diverting them to those choices that they do have. They can kind of help them ease with tolerating that no. So that's just a simple strategy there that can hopefully be helpful.
What if it's just not an option right now?
Yeah, so you could use timers. You could kind of lay out, depending on the developmental level of your learner, but you can say, hey, we can't do ice cream until after dinner. So they have an idea of like, okay, when I have dinner, then I know after I can have ice cream, right? So you could give them kind of a timeline to know when that will become available for them. If it's like in an hour and you want to use a timer, that's great. But I feel like kids usually respond better if you're like, okay, this routine thing, it's after this routine thing, then you can get that ice cream. But in those moments, taking away tablets can be so hard because they love it so much. The dopamine releases in your brain, the neurological impacts of screens, right? Trying to monitor it, I think, will kind of force them to find other things, and you might have to get kind of creative with introducing different things. I know kids love different sensory options, so sometimes if you have water play, that's huge, right? So but you really do need to find something else that she does kind of enjoy to switch out and do that right after tablet, and give her countdowns like, hey, in 2 minutes we're going to be done, hey, in 1 minute, hey, in 30 seconds, and then try to teach her to hand it over to you so she knows she has control, she knows the parameters, she knows how long she'll have it, when she'll have to relinquish it, and kind of practice that skill. You always, with any behavior change, right, like you think about it for ourselves, hey, I want to start going to the gym, right? Start small. You're not going to like go out to the gym and work out for 3 hours because you're not going to do it the next day if you try doing that, right? You got to meet the person where they're at and slowly change. So looking at weaning off iPad time, hey, if they're spending 2 hours on it, shave it by 15 minutes, right? Or 10 minutes. And then create those routine boundaries, let them know how long they have, use those timers, those countdowns, those support, and then try to have them transition out to something else that they kind of enjoy before throwing in some of those non-preferred tasks. I think the first step at labeling feelings is awesome. It's a great first step to do. And then really the next step is how do we de-escalate, right? And figuring out what actually works. And sometimes that takes time. Some kids just breathing deeply next to them works, right? It's that co-regulation. You're just modeling it. You're not telling them to do it. It's very indirect. Some kids we use like pictures and they can pick like, you want to listen to music? Do you need to go in your room? You want to go for a walk? Some kids you kind of have to redirect their attention in different ways, sometimes squeezes, either head squeezes or arm squeezes. It really just depends on your child. So figuring out what helps calm them is really important, and then teaching them how to request for those calming things or just do them independently would be the goal.
I've even seen those charts that have like the different levels of an emotion, and then corresponding with that level is something that they can do. So like let's say they're like just starting to get like frustrated, and then that level corresponds with like maybe taking like 5 deep breaths, and then as it escalates maybe the corresponding action gets a little bit stronger, like squeezes or something.
We call that positive aggression. They are happy, they're enjoying themselves, and they have so much of like, I don't know what to do, but I need the sensory input, and then they squeeze them or they pull them, or so if they are truly happy and we don't feel like there's an attention component with that other person, having them, teaching them to do hand squeezes with the other person or ask for hand squeezes, that kind of gives that same pinching. You want to think what feeling or sensory experience are they getting out of that behavior, and how do we replicate it more in a manageable way? So doing handshakes, high fives, squeezes. Yeah, so positive reinforcement is something when you're adding to the environment to increase the behavior to occur in the future. And then negatives where you're taking something away. So you think of negative reinforcement, you're in the car, the music is really loud, or maybe someone has the windows down and you don't like it. The behavior would be asking for them to turn the music down or roll up the windows. And then that negative reinforcement is that they do that action, right? They remove that loud adversive stimuli or whatever it might be in that environment away. Or you might say, hey, you can be all done with your homework if you do X, Y, and Z, so that you're taking away that task, and it's likely going to increase what you're asking in the future for them to do because that was motivating for them. I love ice cream, but if I eat ice cream 3 times a day, I'm not gonna want ice cream anymore, right? When you're looking at ways to motivate, if you are using the same thing every single time, right, then it kind of loses its, like I said, it loses its value. So you wanna keep thinking about the ways that access and the amount that they have those things and how that can impact it. If you say, hey, only when, maybe you're teaching potty training and they get a sticker after they go, or sometimes, people use M&Ms or whatever. You don't want to give them M&Ms in other situations. You want it just to be after they go to the bathroom, so that motivation is occurring, so they're consistently motivated for that. A lot of times kids, they're doing a duration of work and then they're getting a break. Once the child, is able to do a few tasks and then meet reinforcement, we might use more of that token economy. So we might anticipate them getting 3 correct responses, then they get a token, and maybe they get 5 tokens, and then they get to come out of their room and they go play and have like a longer break, right? The token does a few things, right? Usually we try to use characters that they love. You know, we have some kids, right, they love Toy Story, so maybe they're little Toy Story figure pictures, or maybe they're physical items too. I know those like eraser puzzles seem to be a huge hit here, so maybe they're getting physical erasers and then they can turn them in for certain things as well, which is also a token economy. So really it's getting that endurance, kind of shows them how much work they have to put in and how close they're getting to it before they're going out and getting that longer break. And then center base or home base. There are pros and cons for both. So it's really, what goals do you have for your child? If socialization is really important for your child, I would consider, or school readiness, I would consider more center base. If you want to learn it all and are very interested in you want to really form that trust, and you know, we have some parents, maybe these are the first adults that the child's working with, home-based therapy might be better. If you want to work on some more of those like independent living skills, or maybe you're just seeing a lot of behaviors at home, that would be a good place to kind of start therapy too, just so you can get that support in that setting and teach those skills there too.